Hello everybody. So it's Sunday and I'm going to do a video for you and teach you how to make a healing salve for bug bites and little nicks and scrapes and wounds. Nothing major. Don't put it on big cuts, but it is soothing and it will help. I'm going to turn the camera around and you can see this beautiful day we have here. It's gorgeous. And if we sit still for a minute, we could probably see a hummingbird, but they're not coming because I'm filming. So I'm working in my little outdoor kitchen today. It's not much, but I love it. It's a beautiful day. So here we go. Okay, guys. So we're going to make a healing salve. And it has calendula oils and purslane infused oils. Purslane is also known as heal all. It's going to have a little bit of organic raw honey and some colloidal silver. And the way you start, I hope you guys can see me okay. I have a double boiler set up here, and I have what's called beeswax pestles. I don't know if you can see those. I'm a little far away today, but that's just a little beeswax, and you're going to put that in that double boiler, not on too high a heat because you'll burn it. I'm going to actually turn that down a little bit. Got my oil ready. Got my honey. And yes, this honey has gone to sugar, what they call gone to sugar. But it's still good honey. In fact, I like my honey to go to sugar. It's so sweet. And I let it go to sugar naturally. And if you just let it keep making in the jar, it'll become creamy. And it's really good. It's naturally occurring. And of course, they found 3,000-year-old honey in one of the Egyptian tombs that was still good. So it's good for you. It's antibacterial. That's why I put it in my salve. And we're going to put just a little dab of colloidal silver. I bottled this myself. And that's antibacterial, antifungal, whatever. It's wonderful. So we're going to put some of that in there too. So I'm going to get this beeswax melting, and you need to stir it a little bit, and then I'll be back as soon as I get the oil in. Okay, my beeswax, and I've got my phone on a pedestal, so I'm going to try to show you that it's melted, but there we go. And now I'm going to add my oils. I've mixed them together, which is fine. This is calendula oil, infused oil, and purslane, which is also called heal all. You're going to dump that in there and dump it in slow because it's going to make your oil is cold. So it makes the beeswax set up again. So you got to slowly dump it in there. Turn that heat back up a little bit. And so it gets hot and the beeswax will melt again. It doesn't melt, doesn't set up completely. If I'd have dumped the whole thing in there, it would have. See if I can show you. See, that's what it looks like. I was showing you, yeah, there we go. See, the beeswax sets back up again, so you gotta go slow with your oil and let that start melting again so it'll get hot. If you don't, then melting the beeswax first was a waste of time, right? But if you go slow, it'll melt again. And I've got my pan boiling. You don't want it to boil too much. So we'll add some more, and when we get it ready, I'll show you what it looks like. You want to make sure you stir this after you, and your beeswax you can stir a little bit. You don't have to. But as you add your oils, I've got all my oil in there now. you want your heat on about a medium. I'm using an electric stove, so cooktop. So you got to watch it with electric because it can start boiling. Your water will stop boiling, not necessarily your oil. You don't want your oil to boil. Huh, that's funny. Don't let your oil boil. Anyhow, this is about ready to add my honey. I've got all the beeswax melted again in the oil. It's all infusing together. I'll show you. It's it's not thick, but it will thicken up. Now, at this point, we want to I'm adding about a tablespoon of honey into this. Of course, it's not warm, so I'll have to let it melt. And I'm also going to add about a teaspoon, a little more, of colloidal silver. Now, liquid, as you know, does not mix with oil, but for that little bit, it'll just mix right in. Now we're going to let this honey melt, and then we'll jar it. Okay, that's all melted. It's beautiful. Look at that. Yes, it's thin. Don't worry about it being thin. Now you want to keep it on your burner while you jar it. You can turn your burner down so it doesn't get too hot in there. Like I said, I've got this in a double boiler. Make sure you have it in water, your bowl sitting in the water. That keeps it from burning. All right, now let's get us some jars. I buy jars because I sell my salve to my clients, and you're very welcome to inquire about that. You have to become a client in order to buy from me, but I have these salves and they are very readily available, but it's kind of fun to make your own too. And I'll put a recipe for a batch in the description with the video, so you can make your own if you want to. I use a ladle, and this is hot, and you want to stir this, and you want to be very careful not to burn your fingers. So I suggest you don't hold the jar. Sit the jar on the table, and I'm going to put a tissue right here in case I spill. But you want to stir this as you're jarring it. I'm going to take a little bit of that up out of there. Don't take a whole ladle, because then you're going to spill it. But we're going to just pour that in there. Can you see me doing that? Yeah. Make sure you stir. And just take a little at a time. I should wipe the edge. It's nice to have a ladle that has a pouring area. Some of them have flats on the top and it's hard to pour. I actually have a funnel I should have used here, but that's alright. You may not have a funnel at home. Funnel keeps it from being so messy. We'll get our jar filled here. There it is. And we're gonna, it's hot. It's very hot. I gotta go get me a funnel to finish filling these jars. And it's messy, but it'll wipe right off. You can see that's already setting up on the edge of the jar. Can you see? It's setting up right there. It don't take long to set up, especially if you're in the house, in the cool. And there you go. It's already starting to set up. You can see where it's hit that cool jar. Sorry. And it's setting up in there. So I don't put the lid on these right away. I let them cool. And there you go. Made some healing salve. Bless you. There's a little hummingbird showed up while we were here. Isn't that wonderful?